What if I told you a generation without smartphones, task apps, or even alarm clocks changed the world before noon? That they built a city from sand, preserved a book by heart, and governed empires with a conscience. And they did it while raising families, earning a living, and worshipping with presence. How? Here's the twist. Their productivity wasn't a calendar hack. It was a way of living, a way of aiming every hour at something higher. And that changed what an hour could hold. Stay with me to the end, because I'll share the one-line rule the companions of the Prophet lived by, a rule that quietly turned ordinary days into history. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by endless to-dos, distracted by the digital world, or guilty for not doing enough, this story is for you. Picture dawn in Madinah. The sky is bruised with indigo. A breeze slides softly through palm groves. Calls to prayer float from the masjid of the Prophet Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon him. The city stirs, not to hustle, but to align. The companions gather shoulder to shoulder. Fajr, that first act, explains everything. When Ibn Mas'ud asked, "Which deed is most beloved to Allah?" the Prophet replied, "Prayer at its proper time, then honoring parents, then striving in Allah's cause," recorded in Bukhari and Muslim. Their day didn't just start early, it started right, aimed. If you're looking for where their productivity comes from, start here. Intention. Actions are only by intentions. Bukhari, Muslim. When the first step of your day is conscious, why am I doing this? You don't just schedule time, you sanctify it. A market stall becomes worship. A letter becomes justice. A lesson becomes charity. Nothing is just a task. And their next move, they let worship structure the day. The 5 prayers weren't interruptions. They were anchors. Time broke naturally into focused sprints. Fajr to Dhuhr, Dhuhr to Asr, Asr to Maghrib, Maghrib to Isha. The rhythm wasn't artificial. It was humane. The early hours were gold. The Prophet made dua, "O Allah, bless my ummah in its early mornings," reported by Abu Dawood and Tirmidhi, created sound by many scholars. In those hours, the companions learned, planned, and set their day. After prayer, circles formed, questions asked, Qur'an recited, small truths clarified. Conversations were not debates for display, but pathways to action. If a companion didn't understand, he'd ask. If he couldn't attend, he found a way. Umar ibn al-Khattab tells us he had a neighbor from the Ansar. They alternated. One day at the Prophet's side, learning. One day in the palm gardens, working. Whoever attended brought the day's lessons to the other. Bukhari. That's not just devotion, that's a system. Delegation, rotation, zero FOMO, just purposeful coverage. Problems were solved with coordination, not anxiety. And when you walked through Madinah at sunrise, you'd see traders rolling open shutters and farmers heading to fields. But here's the difference. Their work was tethered to remembrance. The Quran praises men whom neither trade nor sale distracts from the remembrance of Allah and from establishing prayer and giving zakah. Quran 24:37. They didn't compartmentalize faith and work, they braided them. That braid, purpose tied to task, produced focus. The Prophet taught, whoever believes in Allah and the last day, let him speak good or remain silent. Bukhari, Muslim. And he said, part of a person's excellence in Islam is leaving what does not concern him. Tamidi created Hassan. How much time would we get back if we lived by that? slash idle talk, skip the scroll, keep counsel with the beneficial. The companions didn't have 5-inch screens, but they certainly had opportunities for distraction, gossip, tribal feuds, political noise. They left what didn't serve their mission. They also based their learning. Ibn Mas'ud used to teach on Thursdays, not every day, fearing that people would become bored or burdened. Bukhari. He didn't flood minds, he nourished them. That is sophisticated time management, the kind that respects human capacity. The Prophet said the deeds most beloved to Allah are those done consistently, even if small. Bukhari Muslim. Translation: habit beats hype. They chose sustainable rhythms over unsustainable sprints, but sustainable didn't mean small. It meant balanced. One evening, 3 men asked about the Prophet's worship. One said, "I'll pray all night." Another, "I'll fast every day without break." Another, "I'll never marry." The Prophet's response was clear. "I am the one who fears Allah most among you. Yet I pray and sleep. I fast and break my fast, and I marry. Whoever turns away from my sunnah is not from me." Bukhari Muslim. Their productivity wasn't self-punishment. It was calibrated devotion. If you visited Abu Darda in Medina, you'd find this principle in his living room. His guest, Salman al-Farisi, saw him neglecting food and family, absorbed in worship. Salman guided him gently. "Your Lord has a right over you. Yourself has a right over you. And your family has a right over you. Give each their due." The Prophet confirmed Salman's wisdom. Bukhari. Balance wasn't a corporate buzzword. It was sunnah. Let's walk the day forward. Dhuhr arrives. The market's heartbeat slows. At the first call, trade halts. Quran 62:9 commands, when the call for prayer is made on the day of Friday, hasten to the remembrance of Allah and leave off business. Even on ordinary days, prayer disciplined the marketplace. That wasn't inefficiency, it was integrity. When you decide there are moments when no deal, no message, no urgent thing can intrude, your life stops being a blur and starts being alive. Then there's the art of teamwork. The Quran describes believers as those whose affairs are conducted by consultation. Quran 42:38. This wasn't theory. In the Battle of the Trench, a Persian companion, Salman al-Farisi, proposed digging a trench to defend Madinah. The Prophet accepted the idea, and everyone, Prophet and companions, dug side by side, a strategic pivot born of consultation. At Uhud, when the youth wanted to meet the enemy outside the city, and the Prophet initially inclined to remain in, he consulted, accepted the majority view, and committed. Shura wasn't a checkbox. It was their operating system. In the quieter hours between Dhuhr and Asr, families rested. Scholars call it Kailula, the midday pause. Not every companion slept midday every day, but the culture recognized an ebb and flow of effort. They respected the body as an amana, a trust. The Prophet said, "The strong believer is more beloved to Allah than the weak believer, though in both is good." Muslim. Strength here isn't just muscle, it's resilience, health, capacity. They cared for their vessels so they could carry more. Asr drew in, late light stretching over alleys. Teaching revived. In the masjid, answers met questions. Abu Huraira, famous for memorizing thousands of hadith, once told the Prophet that he was forgetting what he learned. The Prophet instructed him to spread out his cloak. Then he scooped with his hands, as if filling it, and said, "Gather it to yourself." Abu Huraira said he never forgot after that. Bukhari. Yes, there was a miracle, but there was also method, humility to admit a weakness, and the courage to seek a solution. Abu Huraira used the hours he had with the Prophet strategically, sticking close, asking often, teaching widely. Presence powered his recall. Meanwhile, the city was being quietly organized. Muslims wrote. The Quran's longest verse, 2:82, is about recording transactions, clear terms, fair witnesses, preserved memory. The Prophet had scribes to document letters and agreements, and later, under Abu Bakr and then Uthman, the companions compiled and standardized the Quran to preserve it accurately. This is productivity in its most sacred sense, protecting knowledge so it outlives you. And they didn't confuse busyness with legacy. Abd al-Rahman ibn Auf arrived in Madinah as an immigrant with no capital. He simply said, "Show me the market." He worked with honesty, prospered, and gave generously. Bukhari. Uthman ibn Affan financed major public needs, including equipping the expedition of Tabuk, embodying excellence in wealth stewardship, reported in Tirmidhi and others. Commerce wasn't a distraction from Deen for them, it was a vehicle for it. By Maghrib, the city softened again. Families gathered. The evening du'as threaded between houses. The Prophet kept khutbahs concise and prayers considered, telling us that brevity with depth is a sign of understanding. Muslim. They didn't equate longer with better. They equated better with better. Then the night, measured, luminous. The Prophet's night prayer, whether short or long, was consistent. Lady Aisha tells us he didn't exceed 11 units of prayer most nights. Bukhari, Muslim. Not frenzied marathons. Beautiful consistency. It matches the Quran's mercy in Surah al-Muzammil 73:20, acknowledging human limits and giving a rhythm that the soul can hold. At day's end, they accounted for themselves. Umar ibn al-Khattab urged, "Take account of yourselves before you are taken to account, and weigh your deeds before they are weighed for you." That wasn't a soundbite, it was a habit. The Prophet taught that on the day of resurrection, a person's feet will not move until he is asked about his life and how he spent it, his knowledge and how he acted on it, his wealth, how he earned it, and how he spent it, and his body, and how he used it. Reported by Tirmidhi, created Hassan. Imagine answering those questions tonight in a journal. Imagine how that would shape tomorrow. Threaded through all of this is a verse that feels like a coaching mantra straight from Revelation. So when you have finished, then strive, and to your Lord direct your longing. Quran 94:7-8. Finish one task. Don't drift into nothingness. Stand up to the next good, worldly or spiritual, and reconnect your reason for doing it. It's momentum, but with meaning. So, what did the companions actually do with this way of living? Beyond personal piety, they built social trust. In a culture of honesty, 5 appointments a day became sacred time blocks. People showed up when they said they would. They didn't overpromise. They pursued ihsan, excellence, because the Prophet said, "Allah has prescribed excellence in all things." Muslim. They taught each other in simple, repeatable ways. The Prophet sent Mu'adh ibn Jabal and Abu Musa al-Ash'ari to Yemen with clear guidance. Make things easy, not hard. Give glad tidings. Do not repel. Cooperate. Do not differ. Bukhari, Muslim. That's leadership that multiplies itself. Teach in principles. Let people adapt. Keep the heart open. They protected attention. The Prophet warned against idle speech, praised silence, and trained them to remember Allah morning and evening. See Quran 33:41-42. Their minds were not open marketplaces for every passing thought. They curated input. They failed productively. When mistakes were made, repentance was action, not despair. Ka'b ibn Malik missed the expedition of Tabuk, told the truth, and endured social boycott till Allah revealed His forgiveness. Quran 9118. That episode didn't break him, it refined him. Real productivity isn't error-free, it's repentance-ready. They pursued knowledge with restraint. When Abdullah ibn Amr wanted to fast daily and recite the entire Quran every night, the Prophet guided him down to alternate day fasting and reciting the Quran once a week. Bukhari Muslim. Ambition met wisdom, and the result was lifelong consistency. And underpinning it all is Surah al-Asr, 3 compact verses that the companions used to recite to one another before parting. By time, surely mankind is in loss, except those who believe and do righteous deeds and enjoin each other to truth and enjoin each other to patience. Quran 103. In that short chapter lies the whole frame: belief to guide, action to build, truth to align, patience to persist. If you wanted to draw the companion's day as a blueprint, it would look like that. Let's translate their frame into a day you could try. You wake before dawn, not to grab a phone, but to make wudu and watch the horizon thin. You stand for Fajr, and you say out loud what your first block is for. From now till Dhuhr, I will do the work Allah entrusted me with, in school, at home, at the office, and I will not trade this time for distraction. You keep 2 small sunnahs, consistent dhikr during your commute or walk, and 1 page of Quran. You push your work in a focused burst, with the quiet knowledge that Dhuhr is coming, a pause that purifies and protects. You say no to what doesn't concern you. You respect your body's needs. You consult a colleague instead of stewing. You finish one thing, then stand for the next. You take a modest midday pause. You check on a family member. You build a habit of teaching one beneficial thing you learned to someone after Asr. Like the companions did in their circles, simple and repeatable. You give charity, if only a little, because little and consistent outlives grand and rare. At night, you put your phone away a little earlier than yesterday. You pray, Isha, you make dua, and you audit your day. Where did my speech wander? Where did my eyes? Did I prioritize prayer at its time? Did I leave what didn't concern me? You forgive yourself and commit again, and you sleep, trusting that Allah places blessing in the morning. That's not romanticism. That's how people without phones ended up getting more done, with more soul, than people with infinite apps. They lived by a program, anchored by worship, fueled by intention, sustained by consultation, and refined by self-accountability. One last thread we can't miss: tawakkul, trust in Allah that breathes life into effort. A man asked the Prophet if he should tie his camel or trust in Allah. Tie it and trust in Allah, he said. Timidity graded Hassan. The companions lived in that space. Bind your means to your end, then rely on the one who controls the ends. When the Prophet passed away, many of these men and women who had been farmers, traders, and shepherds shouldered a mission to preserve revelation, transmit knowledge, and build just governance. They weren't freelancers in a vacuum. They were an ummah, each person a node of responsibility, each day a vessel of meaning. They compiled, taught, judged, traded, and prayed, and the outlines of their day remained simple: intention, prayer, work, counsel, family, worship, accountability. Sometimes the simplest frames hold the most, because the secret of their productivity wasn't that they managed time. It's that they managed the heart, so time obeyed. Here's what their lives teach us. Anchor your day with prayer at its time. It's not an interruption, it's direction. Start early and protect your mornings. Seek the Barakah the Prophet prayed for. Choose consistency over intensity. Small daily goods outlast sporadic bursts. Leave what doesn't concern you. Curate your speech and inputs. Work in focused sprints between prayers. Consult, delegate, and move on. Close your day with muhasabah. Ask what your time carried and for whom. Modern life is loud, but the core challenges haven't changed. We still trade hours for outcomes. We still fight distraction. We still need courage to start and patience to continue. Adopt one sunnah block this week. Define clear intentions after Fajr. Schedule your keyword between Fajr Duhr and Duhr Asr. And end your day with a 5-minute self-audit. Watch what happens to your clarity, your calm, and yes, your output. If this journey gave you something solid, something you can put into practice, consider joining our community here. Each week we bring the wisdom of the Qur'an and the Sunnah into modern routines, with sources you can trust and steps you can actually follow. Your subscription doesn't just support the channel. It helps us craft research-driven episodes that make faith feel close and usable. And the one-line rule the companions lived by: aim every act at Allah and do it with ihsan. When your why is worship and your how is excellence, time stretches to carry more than you thought it could. May Allah place blessing in your hours, purpose in your plans, and light in your mornings. Now, choose your next block and begin.